It makes sense that no great nation can be in a position where they can't control their borders. It matters how you control your borders, not just for immigration, but it matters for drugs, terror, a whole range of other things. So that's the first sort of truism. The second truism is that this nation is such that people in the country should have the first opportunity to be able to have jobs that pay well and have jobs that are decent, and that after that, the second crack goes to what we may need from other parts of the world or any other input. We have to. And I had been arguing for, when I'm back in my days as chairman of the Judiciary Committee and straight through as the leader of the Foreign Relations Committee, I've been arguing for the need to put more protection at our borders, meaning that you have more border guards. This president, refusing to add the number of border guards, now said he has to send the National Guard down. He vetoed. He was against adding the number of border guards. I only can suggest the reason he was is because he needed that money for his tax cuts that were unnecessary. I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. Again, show me what you value. He had put a higher value on tax cuts for the wealthy than he did on protecting the border. And all of a sudden, the public responds, and now he says, now we got to send the National Guard down there that's already overstretched by God knows how much. You know the units going in and out of your own state, going to Iraq and to Afghanistan. So I think what you have to do is you have to have a significant increase in the security at the border, including limited elements where you actually have a fence. Not a fence 3,000 miles like these folks are talking about, but you've got to, there are certain places people can go over and under a fence, but you can't take 100 kilos of cocaine over and under a fence. And what you do when you have limited places where fences are in populated areas, you force these drug dealers and others around, making it easier to apprehend because there's fewer places to come through. So I think the combination of virtual fencing, some fencing, additional border patrol is important. It's amazing how the free enterprise system, and my conservative business friends talk about free enterprise and the right of competition and supply and demand. And yet there's one whole category of people they want to be allowed in on work permits that will take away jobs of Americans right now. We need seasonal agricultural workers, it makes sense, and we need special H-1B people where we don't have enough people to fill spots that are needed at the high end, the high-tech end. I understand that. But I don't go for this idea of having the allowance of a significant increase, several 100,000 people a year, to take regular jobs, particularly in the construction industry. When you have another 300,000 people competing to hang drywall, figuratively speaking, or to carry bricks up a stairway up to the 15th story of a building, or to do a lot of other work in the construction area, guess what it allows the employer to do? Keep the wage lower. We have plenty of Americans that take those jobs. We don't have Americans who aren't willing to take those jobs. But the reason why the employers want this extra influx on a temporary basis, in my view, is it drives costs down. That's not fair to Americans. So you have to hold employers responsible in this measure here. Hold them responsible that they have to hire Americans first. Only if there's no Americans available for the job should we be promoting the idea of bringing in extra workers, in my view. 15 years from now, we're going to be saying, what are we going to do about the flow of illegals into the country of the United States of America? So they're the elements of the way I'd go about dealing with it. It's hard, it's difficult, it's susceptible to demagoguery, but the basic facts are employers have to be held accountable for unscrupulous practices of bringing people here in order to keep wages down. We have to protect our border by putting more infrastructure and investment in the border to be able to control it, not just for immigration, but for drugs. And we have to provide a pathway for the people who are here that earn the opportunity to become American citizens.